So today's poem is by Stevenson. I met Stevenson not so very long before she died last year. I interviewed her for Poetry East. I was really struck by her. She's just so very much her own woman, so very candid and straightforward and alive, so alive. She was born in Cambridge in England, and then she moved to New Haven in Connecticut. She's written a dozen or so books, and she wrote the first critical study of the poet Elizabeth Bishop. Bishop herself didn't like it, but when I interviewed Anne Stevenson, she said, well, I liked it. And she was right to like it. Yes, a wonderful woman and a wonderful poet. I'll read you this late poem of hers. You can have a look at my interview with her and some other poets that were wonderful. Anaesthesia. They slip away who never said goodbye. My vintage friends, so long depended on to warm deep levels of my memory. And if I cared for them, care has to learn how to grieve sparingly and not to cry. Age is an exercise in unconcern, an anaesthetic, lest the misery of fresh departures make the final one unwelcome. There's a white indemnity that with the first frost tamps the garden down. There's nothing we can do but let it be. And now this you, and now this she is gone. There's less and less of me that needs to die, nor do those vacant spaces terrify. So this is a lovely poem of farewell to her, but also farewell to her friends. It's also a wonderful poem of old age. Old age is a whole period in life of its own value. We're so easily focused on the young and so easily think of youth as being the great period of our life. But with age can come, if we're lucky enough, great wisdom. It can come a new perspective on life. And I think you get this in Anne Stevenson's later poems. I love that. There's a fresh indemnity that with the first frost tamps the garden down. There's nothing we can do but let it be. And now this you, and now this she is gone. There's less and less of me that needs to die, nor do those vacant spaces terrify. I think that last line refers back to Robert Frost, so it's interesting the word frost is there, because Frost talks about the space between two stars, on stars where no human race is. You have it in me, he says, I have it in me so much nearer home to scare myself with my own desert places. So I think for me, that's a reference to that. It might be a reference to many things. They slip away who never said goodbye, my vintage friends, so long depended on to warm deep levels of my memory. So friendship, it warms us, it warms our memory. And this is Anne Stevenson saying a fond farewell in poetry to her friends and to her own life.